Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thank you for watching us today. On our program is Pat Kelly, who's the CEO of OnState. Hello, Pat.
Hello, Rich. Thanks for having me out.
Great to have you here. I've known about your company for a number of years. I've written about it in the past, but I don't want to steal any thunder. So why don't you give us the overview?
Yeah, so essentially what OnState's doing is it's the first pure SaaS play in the market. We're not a traditional hosted provider where we have taken the boxes that you would have normally bought and placed on your premise and then put it in our data center. Rather, we have software control that controls traditional networks, the AT&Ts and the Verizons, the Paytechs and the level 3s of the world, but also controls these, shall we call them, voice-enabled IM or new age networks such as Skype and Google. In addition to that, we're completely modal independent, so people use us for chat as well as voice or mix and match as they see fit.
So in what situation would I call you to use your services? And what would I be doing? What's a typical customer?
Yeah, you're usually going to want to do two things: sell more better or provide more effective customer service. So most of our contact points are typically on the business unit side. Mm-hmm. Since we don't require any hardware to deploy, we're not going to force voice over IP on you unless that's what you want. Mm-hmm. We typically don't come through the IT side. As a matter of fact, you as a business unit manager only need two things to engage our service. Mm-hmm. One, attitude, and B, a credit card. So most of the time we're dealing with the business manager. As we've grown, both in terms of brand name recognition, and thank you very much for the work that we've done with TMC in that regard.
Our pleasure.
As well as, we'll get embedded in a department within an enterprise. They talk to their colleagues. Eventually somebody in IT hears our name. So as we start to come in through those channels, we're having a little bit more of a direct IT engagement model. But typically it's a business sale. It's all about sales and support. It's in many cases displacing a traditional call center, so we may be replacing an aged piece of equipment. So instead of making a capital expenditure or entering into a long-term agreement with a traditional hoster, come to us for a stunning, $20 to $50 a user month, no commitments in those environments. Or we're spanning the gap between a traditional hunt group and a full-up formal call center. So our presence-based routing, which is really the core of our system. We're not a switch per se. We're really a protocol-independent state engine, hence the tricky name OnState. We make our decisions based on the state of people, their profiles, and their devices. So we're focusing on indexing, measuring, managing, and monitoring the people, because it's people that are engaged in conversations, not the phone sets. And all the switch guys built software to manage phone sets. We build software to manage people. So when somebody needs to speak directly to you or somebody like you, they ask us. We either figure out where you are or figure out that you're the right person. We go back to the network or the website that made the request. We tell them how to find you, and then we manage that connection over time.
It's really like also next generation skills-based routing.
Absolutely.
There's just so many. You've really combined so many different sorts of technologies and put them into a single package, allowing just a tremendous amount of flexibility, right?
Yeah, and we've got there not the old school way where we have to write all of this ourselves. So being a pure software play, when we're embedded inside of Salesforce or we're embedded inside of Google Apps, that gives us an already well-developed repository of profile and skill information in that environment. It gives us a wealth of information about the people you converse with. It gives us a fabulous repository for the data about who have you talked to, when did you talk to them, did you sell something, not sell something. So there's no traditional middleware required in that environment. We're just a clean, embeddable object in either of those areas. And when people want to apply data analytics or business process automation, instead of me reinventing a form engine for performance management or me reinventing business process management, Salesforce, as an example, has a fabulous workflow tool, and I can be embedded inside of that area. So we're actually reinventing a huge portion of the industry. We record all the calls, but then we do the right thing with the audio. We treat it like it is. It's a very special type of document. We'll either store it in Amazon, we'll store it at Salesforce, we'll store it in the Google domain. It's immediately accessible to all the analytical tools in that environment. So either we, our customers, or partners who are not maybe necessarily in the call center space can add value in the traditional areas of compliance, quality assistance, and quality assurance, and performance management, just as an example. The traditional telephony industry in that has always treated these as little separate applications and silos, and we're not trying to integrate across the silos. Rather, we're putting the data and the process in the right place leveraging these other SaaS and platform as service platforms. So we're leveraging Amazon S3 in the case of storage. We're leveraging Google App Engine in the case of XMPP and Presence Federation. We leverage Salesforce in the case of CRM capabilities. And then the ultimate leverage when it comes to the transport is we're leveraging the network itself, turning it into the switch. So very different play. It's very much about the people.
Yeah, so you've taken the contact center, the core thing that we used to think of as switches and fixed function phones and terminals that would plug into those big pieces of iron of the old days, and you've kind of abstracted it, allowing mashups to be built with different sorts of technologies, right? Whether it's Salesforce or you're working with Skype or you're working with Google, right?
Absolutely.
You're really mashing all of this up, allowing a company to build what it considers to be best of breed business solutions with contact center integration.
Absolutely. And they can come to us if they want just one throat to choke and they only want to deal with one provider of either the network side, obviously our functionality or some of these other elements, or they are free to draft in other players. And those players don't have to come from the call center space. So they can come from a sales compensation management space, and without having to integrate into the switch, the data's already in Salesforce. It's already where they are. Their applications immediately apply. So it's more than just being a software play. It's being a software play in a true SaaS environment. Really, we looked at the problem from that direction. The world did not need another switch.
That's great. Well, thanks for your time today.
Great.
This was really awesome, and I think you're up to some really innovative things, and I hope you continue on a nice pace and keep us posted on your progress.
We will, and we're looking forward to working with TMC and getting our name out there.
Appreciate
Thanks again.
that.
It's a pleasure to see you
Thank
again.